welcome to Krazy Comes. I am your KKW champion board man.
And I might be the Raven.
Today, because I am the greatest superhero to ever live, and you are supposed sidekick.
Hell yeah.
We are making MCU villains from us to Earth, and we had to add these two because you guys keep taking Ian up away, or one of them away. You need up. Because then if you do, compared to other tier lists, it's just confusing. Up is trash. It's bottom tier. Trash. Trash. Give me 1 second. Trash. Oh yeah, well, we're ranking them on different things, you know. Just general, how cool they were power-wise, story-wise. And not just their movie, though that may hurt them a bit. But just because you have a great movie, that doesn't mean your individual story in the movie is good. Your motivation will play a bit of a factor. And just honestly, rememberability, and it's one of the biggest things. Yeah,
everything.
One of the best things is if we want you back. Us specifically.
Yes, specifically. If we don't want you back, then you're...
You know what? I want to go in reverse order. Because I think Crossbones is a good place to start. Crossbones is highly remembered for a guy who did like 2 scenes in a movie.
Right? Well, that's very weird aspect of Crossbones' character.
He has some like decent, I guess. Listen, just to make this list easier, weapons, things like that. We'll just call them like powers, just because we're comparing things. Your ability to use a gun is technically on a regular like encyclopedia for a superhero thing is considered a power.
It's abilities.
Yeah, it's abilities, okay? Maybe we'll just call it abilities. So his abilities, they're okay. I think some people will be mad. He has one of the best designs, though. I would say of the minor villains, because like Justin Hammer and stuff like that, they aren't in this movie. Alexander Pierce, they aren't in this tier list. But for someone who doesn't appeal a lot, Crossbones is... They put some work, and I get some people may not like it. They say it's like a hockey uniform. But I think he looks cool.
A lot of people still to this day like merchandise that has Crossbones on it. A lot of people like it.
Okay, let's look at this list. Crossbones sticks out. I think Crossbones is not awful because he didn't do bad. But he didn't do amazing. I think he has to be near E just because amount in the movie.
But he does play an impact on future movies and throughout the movie with his death and stuff. In the Shockers and stuff, those stuff, I do believe the armor is taken partially from Crossbones, if I remember correctly. I just can't... I guess you're right.
I can't justify him going higher. But listen, E is not awful. It's just not amazing. And I think his reason why he's in E is he can't be insulted for. It's just basically how long he's in the movie. I mean, some of these other people, them getting E would make sense.
Yeah, it's not.
That's an insult for some of these other people, but for him, not too bad. Let's go to the next villain. Next up, Red Skull.
With a couple appearances under his belt.
An iconic villain, a loved villain. For someone who was really early days, like, looking at some of these like early day villains, it's kind of hard to compare them to the modern ones. But I would say, Red Skull, he kind of just holds up. I would say this. Come on. Like, I love Red Skull, but was he as good as some of these other people?
I do gotta say, despite the fact of him being one early on villain, he does hold up to people liking Red Skull to this day. That may be helped in his fact of everyone thinking he's a big time player in MCU, maybe helped by the fact that he's a big time player in the comic books.
Oh no, I wasn't trying to like be like, oh, this guy's like a D or C. I think maybe this like a B. I just don't think like I like Captain America. One of my favorites when I was younger with Hulk and stuff like that, and especially the X-Men. And I'm MCU. I heard you're rebooting. Hey,
shut the fuck up.
Hey man, how's it going? I just think B, and I know some people may not like that. What do you think, though?
I gotta say, because of people Tuesday started talking about Red Skull, and then I think his appearance in the the appearance in the movies is helped because not a lot of these people in some of the later movies have the comic fan backing. Red Skull went into this movie with everyone who knows anything about Marvel. They know who Red Skull is, so that does help him out.
But I'm looking at some of these people that got that comic book backing, like Loki and like Thanos. But I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like Red Skull just can't. I just don't think he should be right.
The only problem with Red Skull really is he doesn't build on top of what he already had set out for him for the comics. So that's my only issue with him.
Yeah, he is basically just copy and paste. And listen, I know what you're saying, oh, but the comic books he was great. We're not comparing comic books. We have to compare the MCU alone. And I just think he, honestly, at the end of the day, if he didn't return in Endgame, I feel like, despite being loved, I feel like, casual fan-wise, he would be forgotten compared to a lot of them.
Oh, that's sad.
I know. All the hardcore fans, I think, love him, but I don't think casual fans care as much. So I think he gotta be a B.
Okay, we'll go with B.
We'll go with B and then get the hate for it later.
One of the most hated villains in the MCU.
I think it's honestly one of the most hated movies in the MCU. Like, listen, I know everyone, like, right now, because Iron Man left the movies, you think he's awful, thinks, like, a little bit higher than him. But I think everyone, when these movies came out, thought he was awful. I think everyone still thinks he's awful, despite, Iron Man's getting so much love, his movies are getting so much love, they still think he's awful.
Iron Man 3 did come back with a lot of love of late, especially because a lot of people started to back the Mandarin and stuff, and how the Mandarin was a good portrayal. He
also,
didn't get any.
Yeah, I think Iron Man 2 also is starting to get a bit more hate towards it. But Mandarin's not on this list. I think he would honestly rank as enough the Mandarin. But
I love the Mandarin.
I think honestly, he should just E.
He had trash generic as hell motivation,
which is a lot of these people, especially Iron Man villains, have. You agree with E?
Yeah,
right? But a
plus
lot
design wise, garbage.
Oh no, garbage. They didn't he's just straight up just suit and tie with powers. So okay, just
bad.
Next villain, Vulture.
A good take on a classic villain with a new redesign that actually gives a great portrayal for future years to go off of.
And listen, I think a lot of people give his Civil War appearance, Spider-Man, to helping people transition again to getting a new Spider-Man, which was a bit mixed opinions. Some the people who like Andrew Garfield is like, oh, our movie's ending, and the people who like Tobey Maguire, like, dude, one Spider-Man no matter what. But I feel like Vulture helped bring the new Tom Holland Spider-Man to be even more loved.
He is also somebody that everyone wants to be brought back.
It's a good movie. I think he has good motivation. I just don't feel like A feels right though. I feel like there's something like pulling him back from A tier.
If he came back with a solid villainous movie and stuff like that, because he did have a little bit of some people do claim there's some heart to the character with his walking man tone villain
that's
story.
That's why I would actually say I like Vulture in the movies, that is, better than Red Skull, because that connection that fans can make just makes him better. Actually, I might have to say he might be A tier, or at least high B tier.
He connects a lot of the also other movies with how they were taking technology from villains and creatures that died. He uses a lot of movies to build up this movie.
And he didn't feel like generic, genius type of scientist thing. Even though I guess he's not a scientist, we're just comparing that trope that MCU has done. I feel like he broke that, being the walking man mechanic style to him.
I gotta say, I would only put him as B because first and foremost, he needs that other appearance to really finish off his story. His story was not finished.
Yeah.
And he had, if I remember correctly, he kind of had, one of the generic tropes of another person wronged by Iron Man, basically.
Yeah.
So,
those definitely hold him back. But let's go to the next villain. Shouldn't have Thanos time. Can we just rank them all at once?
Yeah.
Okay, I think only one should rank higher, actually. They're not awful. I think they should all just be E. I feel like they all kind of blend in together, but I think... Squidward, yes. I think Squidward should be D. And I know that's weird to say, but I think... Because, like, E, it just feels like, you're generic in a way. I feel like it may be weird to put him... I think he should be at least high E.
I think he's that. I would go with D just because I think he was a little bit more interesting than the other ones.
I feel like also acting-wise, he just did good.
I also liked his powers a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like though, why Cross... Listen, because I know some people like Crossbones more. Why Crossbones is E? Is it different than him? Remember that, okay, when we do this. Look, like, he was in not long in the movie. So, I'm sorry. I would even say, like, I don't know. I think I see him. Maybe we should put him in D and some of these that's up. They're really generic acting now that I think about it. They're really forgettable too. I feel like only person that people wanted back was him, Mr. Squidward. I feel like we might have to rank these as up.
I'm fine with that, actually.
Do you think he should also be... I think he might also need to be enough. Okay. So
hey,
he can go here. Listen. It's all this. Next villain. Okay. So I'm just gonna say right now, this is Iron Man. I'm editing like a picture of Baron Zemo. Funny joke. Ha ha ha. Iron Man's the true villain. They didn't put Baron Zemo. Baron Zemo is getting on this list. Baron Zemo's, I think, he's a great manipulator.
No powers, no fighting he really did in the movie at all. If I remember. He did do some torturing of other people and stuff.
Yeah, so he's also sick, he's twisted. I feel like his human aspect puts him over the edge, but I feel like... Because, like, I feel like it's just more sick that he wasn't, like, manipulated to do any of these things. Like, Red Skull a bit at the end was kind of like the, turning red and shit, like the, whatever it was called, kind of, like, affecting him, if I remember quickly. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. He's just sick and twisted.
A lot of these people are getting orders from other people and stuff.
And also, he's coming back.
He just did this, and this is just his... I liked him in the movie, and I'm happy he's back. He's one of the people I was hoping to be back.
I think he's gonna be even better. I think he should be C.
I'm happy with C. Because I'm a little biased with Zemo.
Okay, listen, if he's transferring the next series, this is also C on potential. Put him in D. Next. Villain. Killmonger, okay. This is gonna get controversial. I think he should be, at the very least, an A. Some people like Black Panther, some people don't. Let's just say it's very 50-50 at times. Sometimes more than others, it's loved. But
I think it's universally loved for the most part.
I think you can't say he did bad, though, in this movie.
I think
his motivation was good.
No one says he does bad.
No, some people are starting, to... Because, everyone's thicker, they can't agree. Some people are not liking.
I know that some people may hate us because... I know a lot of people who be like, he's perfect, he is S tier. I think he can't be S.
I think also some people though would rank him even lower because they just... I feel like some people have a bias for a certain era of MCU villains. I feel like so I think we should just be A.
I think the only thing holding him back is I personally didn't care too much about his version of the Black Panther suit. I thought that could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, that was a bit too CGI at the end.
Especially because I liked his normal, outfits and stuff he wore. He was so much cool. And then you could just, for the last movie, he's going to be,
come on,
dressed as Black Panther.
But that ending, when, you think he'll be one of the ones who get to survive, because at the time, not many were surviving. You thought he would get to be one that gets to survive. And then MCU kills him in front of your face and your heart broken.
Because he had a good story.
Yeah.
And he changed... He's one of the only heroes who's he's the only villain who changed the whole hero's mindset. And he actually took over Wakanda.
Next villain. Hello.
Powerful as fuck.
Cool.
Great design.
Great story. I think the only thing that holds her back is that in some fans' minds, they don't like Thor Ragnarok because it just changed the Thor. formula very much, because it was like the Thor movies were so far apart. You know, I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy really changed how MCU looks at movies. But she was good.
She was definitely good, and especially in the franchise, specifically the Thor franchise, is dominated by love for Loki. She came in to steal some hearts away.
And also, we gotta be honest, she's one of those villains that no one knew about going into it.
No, well,
okay, we're talking about the casual people here, and even hardcore MCU fans may have not know who she is, but I feel like everyone knows who she is now. But it's also her portrayal helped kind of popularize some of the other people in the movie that kind of came in, like Valkyrie and stuff, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, Lady Sif," but I think by the end she helped make people, you know, kind of just like, "Oh, Valkyrie" and stuff like that, because she's just one of those villains that helps an entire movie. Though Thor Ragnarok, like, let's be honest, it didn't need a help. Any villain they pretty much were gonna put it in it was good, but she was just awesome and tied the movie nicely. I think she's an A tier.
A tier.
Come at us. Next character. Okay, Iron Manga. Iron Manga became so forgettable because they stole a lot from him, and he was already generic his motivations to begin with.
And they gave it to every Iron Man villain.
Yeah, especially.
And a few others.
And it's so old, too, of a movie. I'm sorry, I think he's a detail. And I know some people may hate that, because he's a classic, but I think he's D.
Well, I think what might make him C tier is the fact that he set kind of a standard for some of the other villains. That might be a help for him.
No, because it's just generic. It's not because he made a good concept. It's that MCU used the same concept over and over again. It wasn't that it was an amazing concept. It was generic before he used it. Come on, you really think he should be next to Baron Zemo?
Okay, I'm a biased to Zemo though, so that's just using that.
Next villain. Okay. Listen, it's a kind of more forgettable of the Thor characters, because again, Loki just overpowered it, and I think Loki hurt this character a lot, because everyone just likes Loki.
And Hela did too, because there's a lot of love for Hela, so everyone just ruins this guy.
I feel like Thor
usually didn't go in with people knowing who the character was, as people do know who Loki is, so
I feel like also...
And he followed Loki, which also hurt, even if Loki was not in the movie.
Also, Thor's movies were kind of the original Ant-Man in a way. Not like that no one cares. It's just because, I mean, come on, Ant-Man fans. We know not a lot of people care. I feel like they're kind of just the forgettable movies at times, and either you love them or you hate them.
I think Thor, the first Thor and the Thor will always be remembered, and this is one of the lowest MCU movies in general, and honestly, I don't care too much about this guy.
Okay. We're finally rating him as... Like, what do you think? D?
E, just because I think he's slightly... He's not...
Oh, yeah, I know. He's better than these ones. Okay. Next character.
That's the second shocker.
Yeah, listen, we'll just rank them both entirely as one. They were just thrown into the movie. I think a lot of people forgot that they were in the movie. I think at most has to be an E tier. It wasn't bad. It's kind of like you. You don't have the best design, and like your guys' designs also make you look a bit generic.
I think he...
Also, there was 2 in the movie. you have to be up at that point. You raced probably through the movie.
I think I'm kind of fine with E or F, I guess. I kind of want to rank him a little bit higher because he was a decent henchman, but he's also not the main villain.
Yeah, I feel like
he's like one of the only solid henchmen on this list.
Next villain. Ragnarok was a good movie. I think you all forgot he's in this movie.
Satan.
Basically Satan. And I feel it's just a generic design. Like, are we gonna put the Elementals on this list?
He's a big CGI monster.
Yeah.
And yes, he does help the story and he has an impact on the story, but he wasn't really the villain of the story.
I feel like... Okay, like, let's talk about you. two. Let's talk about you both. Big CGI monster who kind of like you're the overall like I'm coming, and I can destroy anything I want. But you want the main villain. I feel like we can rank them both in one category. I think they should both go in EOD and together because they want the main villain, but I think the pure strength of what they could have done is good, but I would put them maybe as an E just because they're just a big CGI.
I think, though, I kind of like the other one higher, though.
Which one? You other one? You?
Yeah, I want to make him higher.
You want to like Daumamu? Let's see if we can make fast by pronunciations.
I think it was slightly better, and I like the time loop sequence.
Because that was the only way to beat.
Well, actually, I don't know.
Because neither of them could have been beaten besides by them own giving. Like, Daumamu gave up, and you succeeded.
No, he was beaten, though, by Thor initially, and he took the helmet in. Remember?
Oh, yep. They both got beaten by technicalities.
Dormammu is kind of like, no offense, I kind of want to compare him to, what's his name?
You were defeated, you or not?
Galactus. He's kind of like Galactus, as a guy who spends the whole movie, he's coming.
I'm agreeing with
and
you.
He can't be beaten easily.
Yeah.
He was not technically even beaten in the movie.
You were beaten. You were not. Both, though, were hurt by just being minors, and you didn't get any story to you whatsoever. I might even put you as Edo and you as F, though, because the pure thing that, like, I don't feel right putting you with Killmonger.
Yeah, I'm fine ranking them low.
Okay. Next villain. Mysterio! I know.
Cool design.
Some people may be biased, but he is so good. I think the only thing holding him back is that he was being too manipulative at the end, and then, like, he was just, like, so manipulative, which isn't a bad thing, but he was just like, I'm a good guy. So you can't even say he was a villain, but he was one. We're gonna put the Elementals with you, by the way.
Those were things he was doing.
Yeah, you did all of that. Like, Crossbones, you just kind of were, like, part of the movie. You're a henchman, but...
Those are henchmen, those are him doing.
Yeah, these are all you.
I think that what puts him over is... The only thing that holds him in my mind is...
I think you're gonna say...
I didn't like the one scene where it was just, like, solid, just like exposition.
Oh, well, I was gonna say
one go, and it was like, what the fuck?
That's not what I was gonna say.
Everything explained was at one time. We don't want to explain this throughout the last half of the movie. We're just gonna toss it in all this one scene, and that's the rest.
That's not why I think what hurts him. What hurts him is, in the end of the day, his motivations were generic. I am jealous. Iron Man wrong.
Iron Man wrong.
Yeah, the Iron Man wrong.
But he was willing to hurt so many people and destroy things just so he can look better.
I think, though, what really puts you over the edge a bit is, again, you didn't have powers. It's not even like Vulture with the giant wings. You absolutely had no powers. But I think B.
Fine, we'll go with B. I feel like he's B until we see the fallout of what he did.
Okay, Thanos is on here twice. I don't know why. I'm only ranking one. Listen, I know some people may say you overhype him, and you know, fans overhype him. Thanos succeeded. Thanos won, and they cheated. They cheated to win. And they barely even did that. They barely had enough high power codes to do that. They
needed all the characters ever to beat him.
Yeah.
The only thing with Thanos is, I just want to take this time to say, I hate that Thanos was like bullshit. Anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Thanos was a good guy. No, he's not.
Yeah.
But he's a lot of people, they wanted to kill a bunch of people, destroy people, gain money, whatever the motivation was. Thanos killed half of the universe.
And succeeded. And also, by the way, the snap didn't undo all the other genocide he did. Just so you know.
Yeah, he did genocide for years.
But quick, next villain. Ronin, another genocidal man who was a bit working for you. Good villain. I feel like though his designs have, in the end of the day, kind of it didn't hold up.
I think what helps him is that he was retorned and stuff for Captain Marvel and stuff. So
I feel like though he he didn't matter in Captain Marvel.
I say at least D.
Oh, I was gonna put one in C, but I can kind of look, and I think Ronan ended up being in D because Ronan didn't do much in the movie. Like, I know he did a lot.
He did a lot.
It's a lot of implied stuff though. Like, he came really towards the end to actually like fight them, is what I meant. He kind of had like a bunch of minions things, you know.
Thanos, though, 2 movies of this solid, just we learned more and more and more about how he was just killing people.
Okay, because we're talking about, I think we referenced Captain Marvel a little bit. Let's rank you little snake in the grass.
The douchebag. That's the best way to describe him. He's a douche.
Yeah, Yoni. Love or hate the movie, I don't think anyone cares about you in the movie. I honestly, can we be honest about that?
He's just a generic douchebag.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that makes him better than like some of these other people is he wasn't a henchman. He didn't have.
He wasn't even in charge though.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. He wasn't fully in charge, but I mean, in his outfits, yeah, compared to other things. One thing is, it wasn't like Iron Man wronged me, and I don't look exactly generic if you put me compared to these people. But in this movie, he looked generic compared to other people.
I mean, what he did do was pretty bad. He was training people and telling people that what would they call skulls?
Yeah.
He was telling people that the skulls were bad.
Yeah.
He was trying to commit genocide. I think that made him a bit more bad than some of these other E's.
No. I mean, yes, he's better than some of the other E's. But I feel like the only thing is, I'm starting to realize there's a genocide trope in galactic villains. So you're definitely saying as E, and you made me, like, I felt bad for putting Ronan as D, but now that the genocide trope is seemingly very generic, even like hella, like, what the hell is MCU's problem with genocide? You know what? I was about to say, it clarifies that we need this next villain. Loki, okay. Again,
the most appealing villain here.
Yeah, I feel like, again, we may get some hate, because some people don't like when someone's overhyped. Do we even need to explain?
Deserve the hype.
Good actor. Yeah, lovable actor.
He was good acting compared to some of these like very low card people.
Yeah, he's lovable. Took on the Avengers. He did good. You deserve that ass, buddy.
And he's getting his own series now. That just shows how he really did deserve the hype.
Next villain. Okay, while we're talking about him, let's talk about you. Yeah. Straight up. I'm sorry. You gotta be enough. But I think we need also, next villain needs to be, while talking about Loki, Winter Soldier, another recurring villain, in a way, who kind of was a hero at some point. But I feel like you can agree to me that I don't think we should rank Winter Soldier based on his other movie appearances. I feel like Winter Soldier kind of has to only be ranked on the movie. Unlike Loki, who was kind of like at least half and half a villain, I think we gotta rank Winter Soldier only on that one movie. You kind of
was solid though in the movie.
Yeah, I think though, like, what do you think? Maybe like, I think like a B tier. The actor did good. I think though, like, come on, like, look who else is in B. He wasn't doing half the stuff on his, like, I mean, none of the stuff on his own. There was nothing on his own he did. I'd rather, like, say, like, at least other villains who were, like, manipulated or something, they did it on their own. But can you agree that this B tier?
Yeah.
Okay. Next villain. Let's finish off some of the other franchises while we're at it. Let's talk about Whiplash. Whiplash, I would say he's one of the most original looking villains. Good acting, I would say. A good actor, I would say, behind the wall.
I think he could have been a lot better.
Yeah, it's the whole thing with the period I love, but in the end of the day, it does not make you look villainous. I don't think he's an up tier, though. I feel like some people may be mad, but I think he should be E. Like, I get that, yes, the people be like, oh, but some of these people are more powerful than him. They caused Ragnarok. These people help with genocide and stuff. But, like, come on. I don't think Whiplash deserves to be F. If he was in a different movie, I would say he's like a Crossbones, like early version. So I think we should put him in E. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think E or D is at most.
Listen, I haven't watched that movie in a while, so I may be wrong, but we'll keep you in E. Next villain. Okay, let's take off a lot of the other people who were kind of like half villains in the movie, or like henchmen, or like they were, like half villains, as in like there's other villains in the movie. Henchmen, I'm sorry, it's kind of just a thing we're doing. I mean, like, come on. Your Malekith is only an E. Do you think you could try? I'm sorry. Okay. I think this one might need a bit more of talking about. I mean, come on. You made Darumaru forgettable to some people, but I feel like the memes about Darumaru, and I think it kind of just makes you a bit more forgotten in the movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he started off pretty solid, but people like to make jokes about Darumaru.
Yeah, but the scenes, oh my god,
I think
so good.
I think he at least should be at least E. I mean, come on.
I was thinking about D maybe, but
I think he's kind of forgettable though.
Yeah,
he got no impact outside the MCU at times.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, you can be E. Next villain. Let's go with Abomination.
Debatable. A lot of people like to debate that the animation for it was an abomination. I gotta say, it was not the best look. A lot of things held him back from being solid. I think he's gonna have some potential when he comes back in She-Hulk.
But I feel like it's not like with Baron Zemo where like we know he's coming back and we can be excited and there's something to be excited about. I feel like they will do Abomination better. But I feel like for now, Abomination is still just an A.
I was gonna say D, but just because of
I don't know. I feel like they'll just we also got to say motivations and stuff like that. It's I feel like
okay, fine.
Okay, next one. Yellow Jacket. Ended up being kind of forgettable.
Cool design though.
I feel like the thing that hurt him is that let's talk about Ghost right now too. Anime movies, there's just not as much love for them.
They are some of the lowest grossing modern movies for the MCU.
But we gotta compare against other movies, because MCU fans forget about this. Anime does great compared to regular movies. But again, you're in the MCU, guys. You kind of got forgotten a bit, and also, Paul Rudd is more loved than the anime movies. And anime is more loved than other things.
Ghost had some solid acting, but
yeah, Ghost.
But what ties them, despite the fact that Ghost has a solid story and stuff. But Yellow Jacket's design, and I like the fight sequence, even though she had some cool fight sequences.
I think the Ghost should be ranked higher based on motivation. But actually, it all depends. What do you think? But where would you put Yellow Jacket?
I would say C or D for Yellow Jacket. Oh, come on.
I think he's... Okay, let's look at right here. Okay, a lot of these people are E's. Maybe not you, or like a really high E. But... Okay, I can get behind putting Yellow Jacket as D. Because like, I think he's one of the things, if like, despite the motivation not being like the most exciting, the movie just makes you forget and not really care about motivation, and you just... Like, if you are actually behind the movie, it's fun. I think Ghost has a slightly better motivation, though. But I don't know, I don't see it logic, because, like, the movie, writing-wise, they could have done so much better. I feel like that hurts, like, if Ghost was in any other movie, Ghost could even have been, like, a B tier. But they hurt the movie so bad. Yeah, D. And I know some people may be like, how dare you rank Ghost higher than Abomination? Next villain. Okay, E. Go! He got the motivation. He's slightly different look. It was a good movie, despite some people getting like not too much love some certain group. It's a growing group of the comedy based movies, kind of like Thor Ragnarok and such.
He was a good actor though.
Oh yes.
I don't know exactly if he had like the best motivation, but he was super powerful.
Oh no, I don't mean motivation in a way. Kind of just more like.
I mean his motivation against like the main character. It's not his backstory.
Yeah.
His motivation.
But I would say the things he has done, he's one of the genocide based villains, but it just felt so much worse. Remember, see, he gave Star Wars' mother cancer as a way to kill. One of the most painful ways, one of the most devastating ways. Just look at that hospital scene of how many people. It felt like yes, a lot of these people kill people, but we don't see the actual personal aspect.
He caused a lot of suffering, and he caused Star-Lord to suffer for many years afterwards because of the death.
I think I know some people may question this and be like, because Red Skull's a B, and I know that's gonna cause so many problems. Same with Winter Soldier, but I think Eagle gotta be an A, and I don't know if you agree with me.
I think the only thing that holds back that holds back Ego in my mind is I think the final fight. There was a little bit of a CGI rock fest.
Like he's like what Mysterio should have been with being on the guy's sides for the entire thing. Let's just go next one. The last one, Ultron.
Solid movie in my mind, at least.
I know some people hate it though, and I don't get it. I like Ultron. He feels like he also has good motivation. He literally is, like other villains be like, oh, I hate the world type thing. Ultron sees it though. He's kind of like Thanos, as you can understand why he wants it. Like everyone's like Thanos was right. What about Ultron? Ultron literally has reasons and saw everything we were doing. Like Thanos was just assuming the universe needed to do it. Like at least you can be like, oh, Thanos was right. He's only right for like certain planets. Like come on, Ultron literally saw why Earth was trash. Thanos just assumed we were trash, and because
Thanos just had such broad scope. When unlike Ultron, who's just like he also was just cool in the movie. Ultron
also it helps that he was a Avengers level threat. I think Ultron. I know we're biased when we say this. I think Ultron should be A.
I was gonna say S.
Really? Okay, debate. Oh, I mean, he is the original Thanos in a way. I mean, remember, Thanos you can be like, oh, he was right. Ultron has to technically, he's like Vision in a way. He knows everything.
I also like the sick, disturbed little things. I don't know if it was really there. I'm just looking back from my movie with like him singing like, I got no strings on me from like the Pinocchio stuff. He kind of had like a sick, twisted aspect to him. And then he had like the good version of him coming partway through with Vision of like the comparison, and he's still having an impact on the MCU to this day.
If we're also being honest, his minions were technically also him.
He wanted to replace the world. Also, he didn't want to just kill a bunch of people. He wanted to replace the world with robot clones of himself. And all the while, not just that.
Okay, I get it.
But not just that, he also wanted to keep on like improving himself throughout the entire movie, kind of showing what like the problems with like Tony Stark, who always wanted to keep improving himself, getting better suit stuff. He showed his own version of that with like he kept trying to prove Ultron, and it got really cool for me.
I hope you guys enjoyed. I've been Boardman.
I might have been the Raven.
This has been Krazy. Can subscribe to join the showcase. Spell okay because we are badass, and you can be badass too. More tier lists hopefully to come. We haven't done one in a while, but we do love them. Have a good night, everyone.